shifting from the balls of the feet to the heels, lifting through the toes just a couple of times, and then spread those toes out nice and wide. Press all 10 pads of those toes into the ground, lifting up through your arches. So you're grounded in your heel, pad of the foot, and the toes. Knees are soft, tail is heavy. And just rock and sway side to side. See if you can close your eyes and maintain that balance. And just try to calm your mind. Find your center. And then slow your sway, stacking back onto those heels. Knees on top of those ankles. Hips on top of knees, shoulders, ears on top of hips. On your next inhale, reach your arms all the way up overhead. Clasp your hands together and then point your pointer fingers up to the ceiling. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And now reach and lengthen the tip of those fingers all the way up to the sky. On your next exhale, lean to your back wall. Good. Try not to sink into that back hip, but get nice and tall. Lean into the back wall. You should feel a beautiful length through the right side of your body from your fingertips all the way down to the outside ankle. Open your chest so that top shoulder, roll it open. Zip up your pants. Focus on your breath. On your next inhale, allow that to bring you back up to the top, reaching high to the sky, finding your center. And your next exhale, let's dip it to the other side. So as if there's a large beach ball right on that right side of your body, reach up and over instead of sinking into that sand. Open your chest, roll that left shoulder up and back. Keep reaching. Those fingertips are energetically pulling you to the ceiling. Inhale, come back center. This time, take your right foot and cross your ankles right over left. So here you should feel balanced and grounded on both feet. If you do not, slide your back heel. Give yourself a little wider of a stance. Get nice and tall once again. Exhale, reach to the back wall. Good. Feel your glutes ignite to prevent you from sinking into that low back. Drive that tail down towards those heels. Reach your fingertips up and over. On your next inhale, come center. Good. Change sides. So now that left ankle steps in front of your right. Ground through your heels, ground through your big toes and your pinky toes. If you need to take a step back, please do so. Get tall, leaning towards the front of your room. Shoulders down out of your ears. Neck is nice and long. Beautiful. Lower your hands down. Good. Now I want your big toes to connect and allow your heels to turn out just slightly, so you'll feel a slight internal rotation that comes from the hip. So I don't want your hip neutral and for you to buckle your knees in. So everything turns in and rotates from that hip joint. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale, find a forward fold. So we're just diving down, hinging at the hips. Big toes are kissing, and just fall. Allow your upper body to feel nice and heavy, releasing the tension through the back of the neck. Drawing the crown of the head towards the mat, tail reaching towards the sky. You can find a slight sway side to side. You can nod your head yes and no. Big breaths, 360 degrees. So I want you to expand your rib cage left to right and front to back. And as you exhale, Spill all that air out through your mouth. Good. When you're ready, shift the weight to your heels, slightly bend your knees, and then draw your toes and knees to face forward. So now you should be hip distance apart. Lower your hands onto the mat, and then walk and step back onto your knees. So we're coming into a tabletop position here. If you're close to a wall like I am, make sure you back up, because as we start to roll forward, I want to make sure we're not banging into anything. Keep your tail nice and high. I want you to hug your elbows in towards your midline. So the back of your elbows shouldn't be facing out to the sides. Try to slightly rotate them so now your elbows are facing the back of your mat. Don't lock that joint out. Just hug in towards that midline. Keep your tail high. Lower your chest halfway down. Keep those elbows facing the back wall. Good. Now I want you to drive your chest through your hands, lower onto your belly. Move your hands underneath your shoulders. Point your toes. Feet are flat on the ground. As you roll your shoulders up, down, and back, peel your chin, your chest, pressing your palms into the floor. Lift up. As you do that, bring your belly button with you. Good. Lower all the way back down. Belly button, chest, chin, forehead. Curl those toes underneath you. Reverse that push up back into a tabletop. Beautiful. Shift back onto your knees and toes, and then start to lift through your hips while you straighten your legs. That will land you in an upside down V. Pedal your heels, driving one heel down to the floor at once. Spread those fingers out wide. Press your palms into the floor. Plant your thumb, pointer, middle, ring, and pinky finger into the mat. Now shrug your shoulders towards your ears. As you exhale, press your rib cage towards your thighs. Relax your heels towards the ground. Three deep, 360-degree breaths, nice and wide. And then spill it all out. On your last exhale, I want you to rise up off of your heels and then just tiptoe your way back to the top of your mat. Here you are in your forward fold. Slightly bend your knees. Allow your tail to get nice and heavy. And then as you start to roll up, your head, neck, and shoulders remain heavy, and they are the last thing to rise. Beautiful. Roll those shoulders up, down and back. Open through your chest. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, fold in half, hinging at the hips. And then we're just going to surrender down into that forward fold. You may want to cradle your elbows, bending at your elbows, opposite hand, reaching down. You can also release those elbows, lifting your foot up, knuckles to the ground, and then sliding your hand underneath, palm facing up, and then just put a little pressure in those toes. Give those palms a little squeeze with your toes. Upper body nice and heavy, nice and long. Lengthening through that spine, upper back. No wrinkles in the back of the neck. Let that head hang. One at a time, start to remove those hands. Plant those hands onto the mat. Let's step it back into that tabletop. Slight variation. Walk your hands in front of your shoulders. And then scoop and hug those elbows in. That joint stays soft. You don't want to lock that joint out. Instead of keeping your tail up, start to lower your chest and bring your tail down with you. all the way down to your belly. Point your toes. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Roll those shoulders up, down, and back. And peel chin, neck, chest, belly off the mat. Hug those elbows in. Activate your back body. Lower down to the mat the same way you came into it. Curl those toes underneath you. Let's press back into that tabletop, shifting the weight to the balls of the feet, lifting the knees off the mat, pressing the tail to the sky. 3 breaths here. Spread those fingers out nice and wide. Shrug your shoulders towards your ears. Drive your rib cage towards your thighs. Open up. On your next exhale, on your next inhale, lift those heels up, tippy-toe your way to the top of the mat. One more nice, easy sway, side to side. Good. Take a look at your feet. All 10 toes should be facing forward, kneecaps facing forward. You can heel toe your feet out a little bit wider for a stronger base. Beautiful. As you start to sweep your arms up overhead, bend your knees, sink your hips, bring those arms all the way up. I would much rather your hands and arms out at a diagonal so that you can sink low with proper posture than for you to rise up and come out of that knee and start to bend through your low back. So sit low and reach forward. Chin off of your chest, gaze slightly in front of your mat. For 4, 3, 2, forward fold. Take those fingertips, slide them up your shins, lift halfway up. So now your chest is parallel to the floor. Exhale, lower those hands, step back into a plank push-up position or in to a tabletop. You can also drop to your knees, high to low push-up, pressing that chest through your hands, through those shoulders, lifting your chest, lifting your belly button. Option to press your feet into the mat, lifting your knees and thighs off as well. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips up, uncurl your toes straight away right into that down dog. Good. Now lift your left leg up to the ceiling. So here's a 3-legged dog. You are now a tripod. So your base of support on that right leg should be in the center of the mat, and then your hands on either side. Go ahead and bend that left knee. Open up that left hip. Allow yourself to feel like you have an anchor wrapped around that left ankle, and it's opening you up a little bit more, falling into that water. Square your shoulders. Straighten your leg. Bend that left knee, bring it into your chest as you planche forward, and then step that left foot in between your hands or step that left foot on the outside of that left hand. Good. Back heel stays lifted. Inhale. Arms overhead. Sit low. Good. Let that front leg carry the weight. Hips are square. We're going to drop our right heel towards the back of the room. Open up our arms. Warrior 2. Let's check in with our feet. Front heel, draw a straight line. It should meet your back arch. Big breath. Flip your front palm. Tilt it back so that right hand slides down your leg. Left arm reaches to the sky. Sit low in that front knee. Good. Arms come back up to that T, shifting through Warrior 2. Now let's cartwheel down to the mat. Step back to a plank push-up position. And then we're going to go straight to downward facing dog. Good. Right leg now lifts high to the sky. Option, bend that knee, open up the hip. Same thing here. It's like that ankle has an anchor on it and it's dipping, dropping to the back of your mat. Straighten that leg. Start to bring that knee in towards your chest. Start to step that foot outside of the right hand. Belly in. Rise up. Back heel is lifted. Crescent warrior. Sit low. You should feel a beautiful stretch through the front of the back leg. Good. Drop that heel. Open up towards the back of your mat. And let's check in. Front heel, draw a straight line to the back arch. Flip your front palm up and let's take it back. Reverse that warrior. Get tall in the front right side of your body. Try not to sink into that back hip, but lift out of it. Shifting back into that big T. Cartwheel your hands down on the inside of that foot or frame your foot. Step back. Downward facing dog. Rise off your heels. Tiptoe your way to the top. Hang out in that forward fold. Getting ready for that chair squat. Bend your knees, sink your hips as your arms sweep up overhead. Good. Sit low. Take a look at your feet. You should be able to see your toes. If your knees are buckling forward, we want to prevent injury. So lift those shins away from the tops of your feet. Forward fold. Lower down. Inhale halfway up. Slide those fingertips all the way up the shin. Chest and spine parallel to the mat. Exhale, fold. Plant those hands down. Step back into a plank. High to low push-up. Hovering that push-up. And then pressing your chest through your hands. You can lift off your knees and thighs. You can ground those knees and thighs. Belly button reaches to the spine. Chest is open. Chin is up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shifting through tabletop, curling those toes, peeling those knees, lifting those tails as a beautiful option. Inhale that left leg high to the sky. Bend your knee. Open up that hip. Straighten that leg, square those hips, step that left foot on the outside of your left hand. Inhale, crescent warrior. Sit low in that front knee. Lift tall through that chest and upper body. Take your left hand and place it behind your back. You may already feel that opening through your chest and shoulders. Be kind. Good. I want you to rotate towards the back wall with that chest, with that torso. Breathing. No restrictions in the back. Just nice, smooth breath. Good. Cartwheel your arms open to your warrior two. Let's reset our heel and arch, straight line. Good. Now act as if somebody's reaching and pulling you in either direction from each wrist. Go ahead and clasp your hands behind your back and then start to drive those knuckles towards the floor, lengthening through the elbows, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Good. I want you to reach and turn towards your front bent leg. We're going to surrender down. So peel the thumbs away from the tail as you surrender on the inside of that left leg, driving your knuckles to the ceiling. Big breaths here. Breathing through the chest, shoulders, relaxing through your neck. Bend your front knee a little bit more. Pull your belly in. As you start to release those hands, all 10 toes begin to face forward. Arms up. We've created a beautiful star pose, right? Reaching in opposite directions. Bring your hands to heart center and then bend through your left knee. All 10 toes stay facing forward, just into a beautiful side lunge. I'd rather you keep your tail high as opposed to you sinking and coming out, right? So just take this deep side lunge with stillness, with balance. Good. From here, start to bend through your left knee, shifting over to the other side. Feel the length through the right knee, and now is bent. Left leg is straight. You should feel that stretch through the inner thigh. Good. We're going to start crawling over to the right side. So pivot those feet and then step back into a downward facing dog. We're just going to move around our mat, creating some change, welcoming that change. It might feel funky. All we've done is switch directions, right? Inhale, rise off those heels. Tiptoe your way to the top. Hang forward, fold. Getting ready for a final chair pose. Shift the weight to the heels. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Sweep the arms all the way up. Good, belly in. 8, 7, 6. Shoulders down. 4, 3, 2. Find that forward fold. Surrender down. Inhale, lift halfway up. Chest parallel to the floor. Exhale, soften the knees, plant the hands, step back into a plank push-up position. Options on your toes or on your knees. High to low push-up. Pressing your chest through those shoulders. Zipping up your pants, lifting chest, chin, right? Like you're peeling an orange open. Exhale, let's find a down dog. Hips up and back. Beautiful. We've changed direction, so now we're going to change feet. Right leg goes high to the sky. You're familiar with this. It's just a new location. Bend the knee, open the hip. Let that anchor drop you down. Straighten the leg. Right foot plants on the outside of the right hand. Good. Lifting that chest. Find your crescent warrior. Shoulders are down. Sink into that front leg. Good. Take your right hand, place it behind your back. Lifting through that left side, rotate towards your back wall. Yep, so you're rotating in towards that front leg. And now tilt back a little bit. Belly in. Good, we're going to open up to our warrior 2. So drop that back heel, arms out into a T. Reach in opposition. Sink low into that front knee. Clasp your hands behind your back. Roll those shoulders up, down, and back. Squeeze your shoulder blades, lengthen through your elbows. Drive those knuckles down. Good. Now rotate towards that right knee. Sink a little deeper. We're going to surrender down. So that right shoulder slides right in front of that right knee. Drive those knuckles to the ceiling, right? So that's an active press. We're not just hanging with our arms up. We are pressing. You'll feel that opening through the chest and shoulders. The challenge here is holding a pose. We do so much where we move from one thing to the next. Finding your breath through stillness of holding a pose is our big focus here. One more breath. Let's open up into that beautiful 5-point star. Toes and knees face forward. Fingertips reach up and out. Bring your hands to heart center. Bend into your right knee. Belly in. Send that tail back. So if you want to get lower, you bend your knee and drop your tail. You don't drop your chest lifting your chest. From here, start to bend through your left knee, lengthen through your right. Good. Let's walk over to that left side, dropping onto your right knee, welcoming that left knee right next to it, walking your hands out in front, pointing your toes, sitting back towards your heels. Welcome to extended child's pose. Extended child's pose is an active pose. So before we take that full surrender, keep your hips where they are and then start to inchworm your fingertips to the top edge of your mat. You'll notice that will lengthen out your arms. You may feel a beautiful stretch on the side body. Those are your lats. And allow your armpits to get nice and heavy. Fall a little deeper to the floor. Let's focus back on that 360-degree breath. Inhale. Nice and expansive. And as you exhale, focus on that last 25% of air that gets stuck in those lungs. That's what you want to exhale. Get rid of all of that stagnant breath. Keep pushing it out until you have to gasp for air, welcoming in all of that new oxygen. Beautiful. Relax your forehead to the mat as you start to slide those hands down towards your knees, and then just continue extending those arms all the way towards your toes. So now your hands are down beyond your hips. Palms are facing up. You can have your big toes kissing your knees together. You can draw your knees out to the far edge of the mat. Whatever's most comfortable for you. Without changing much, I want you to actively press that forehead into the mat. Really ignite that third eye. Focus your energy right in between those eyebrows. Allow your shoulder blades to start to spread apart. Elbows falling out to the sides. Tail is heavy, spine is long. A few more moments here. Full relaxation. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. Minimal movement. Nice and easy. Allow those elbows to fall to the ground. Palms are now down. And then begin to lift your forehead off the mat. Your chin and chest begin to rise, falling onto those heels, coming up to a kneeling position. A pose we will try is known as broken toe pose, Valerie's favorite. Shifting onto your hands, lifting your hips off of those heels, curling your toes underneath you, and then lowering those hips back onto those heels. You're going to start to feel a glorious stretch through the arches of your feet. And then when you're ready, place your hands on your thighs. Start to come up to a seated position. Now, ears, shoulders stack on top of those hips. Put a little pressure into those ankles. You'll feel a nice opening through the bottom of your foot. You can also do this one at a time. And lowering your hands onto the ground will give you that control on how much resistance and pressure you place into one foot. This is uncomfortable. The goal is to sit with the uncomfiness, right? It is painful, but boy, does this feel nice. So often we are stuffed in our shoes. We never give the bottom of those feet and toes some space to grow and move. If you start to feel anxious, mad, just notice all of those feelings. Try to resist from coming out of it. Shifting through, totally acceptable. Just another moment or two. Coming back into that tabletop position, making our way onto a seated position. Legs out long. Give them a little shake. And then let's point those toes and flex, right? So we'll give ourselves a little counter pose. Curl those toes, right? Like you're angry, like you're trying to pick up a paper towel with those toes. And then relax. Squeeze and relax. Squeeze one more time. Hold, hold, hold. Don't let that paper towel go. And relax. Bend those knees. We're going to make our way onto our back. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. Exhale, find that C-shaped curve in your spine. I want you to roll down one vertebrae at a time. Lowering shoulders, neck, and head. Keep your knees bent. Walk your feet out wide. It's okay if your heels are on the mat and your toes are turned out, or if both are on the mat. Let's just rock side to side. Drop those knees from one side to the next. Beautiful supine stretch. So dip those knees to the right and hold them there. Freedom to do what you want with your arms. So your hands can be on your belly. Your arms can be extended out to a T. You can bend through the elbows for a cactus. You can bring those arms all the way overhead for a nice long stretch. You can keep those arms overhead, bending through the elbows, cradling your elbows, whatever feels best for you. Shifting those knees back up to the sky and then dropping them over to the left side. Feeling that anchor sensation in both knees pulling you towards the ground. Bring those knees back up through the center. Lowering your hands down by your hips, palms turned to face up, and then slowly start to extend your legs out nice and long. Just breathing, no movements required. And then let's just go ahead and check in with the body. We'll start at the toes and make our way up. Feet are relaxed. Spread those toes out nice and wide. And then just allow your feet to fall and surrender. Maybe those toes and feet are open like the pages of a book. Ankles, for once, are not holding us up. They're just here, recovering. Maybe drag your feet out, pulling those heels out of your ankles, giving yourself some space to breathe. Walking up those shins to those knees. No activation. Kneecaps just hovering, floating on top of that joint. Walking up to the quads. Muscles are soft. There's relief in your hips. Females in particular harbor a lot of intensity, stress into the hips. So as you breathe, focus on that breath, on that energy into those hips, that stagnant air that we were trying to push out. Push that out all the way through those hips. Allow your glutes to be soft. Those strong muscles, leg muscles are strong. But for now, they're just recovering. No expectations. Moving into your belly. Belly breathing is so important, so much, and so often we're breathing through our chest. So as you breathe, think about expanding through your belly without expanding through your chest and shoulders. So just get nice and big, expansive in that belly. And then you don't have to force your breath out. Just clear that exhale. Moving up in the ribs, creating space between each rib, creating space between your ribs and your hips. Oftentimes, as we imagine this space and length, you may want to shift through your hips, through your shoulders and neck. Go ahead and shift around when you feel like you need to create that space. Your arms may draw out a little wider. Breathing through your shoulders, your chest, your collarbone. Your shoulders are melting through the quicksand of your mat. Biceps are relaxed. Palms are open, prepared to receive any energy. You can also close those palms on top of your chest, on top of your belly, to really seal that energy up. But if you're still allowing yourself to receive that energy, just keep those palms open. Checking in with the length of your neck, with your heartbeat, with your lungs, with your breath. All of these things happening without us thinking about it. So just draw your attention to the stillness and notice how much is still happening in your body. Moving up through the back of the neck, where so much tension lives. Just breathe through, release. Maybe rocking your head in a no-like form, putting some pressure into the back of that skull, really releasing that tension. Maybe dropping your chin towards your chest and then opening up that chin towards the sky. Just let your eyeballs float. Open your mouth nice and wide and then wiggle your jaw back and forth. Nice and wide like a big yawn. And then wiggle your jaw. Do that one more time. Open up nice and wide. And then wiggle and shift. And as you begin to close your mouth, your lips can touch, but try not to clench your teeth. And then just drop that tongue from the roof of your mouth.
Gently coming back into focus. Begin to just wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe curling those toes, squeezing your palms and hands into a fist, and then relaxing. And then start to welcome and invite a little bit of a larger movement rolling through those wrists and ankles. Not changing your breath, not moving too quick or too sudden. Let's find the tallest self of the day by just reaching those arms overhead, maybe clasping those hands, maybe not. And let's get a little bit taller by walking our hips away from our ribs, pointing our toes, big, big morning stretch. And then roll over, release that stretch, roll over to one side, just shifting onto one side, keeping one arm overhead, allowing that bicep to be a pillow. Just a comfortable, smooth, easy transition so we're not sitting up too quickly. No expectations here. Just bringing your awareness back to your breath, maybe fluttering your eyes open, maybe keeping them closed. And when you're ready, let's press ourselves up to a seated position, crossing the ankles. Legs can be out long. Shifting from side to side on those sit bones, finding a nice grounded posture, sitting up nice and tall. Again, palms up to really channel that energy, pulling a little bit more from that class, or palms down towards your knees, really sealing up our practice. One more big breath. Inhale those arms overhead. Exhale, bring those hands to heart center. Just acknowledging the space you've given yourself for recovery, for a challenge, for breath work. It's often hard to create space throughout our day. So just acknowledging the time you've given to yourself. Until next time, namaste.